Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to crack open the pages of Gilda Cordero-Fernando's classic short story, The Visitation of the Gods. We're going to take a look at one wild day in the life of a rural school that's bracing for a very, very important visit.
So let's dive right in. The whole story kicks off with a single, simple letter. But, this isn't just any letter. This is the kind of announcement that throws an entire school into a state of absolute, frantic, performative panic.
So, this letter drops, right? And it announces a surprise visitation by the division supervisors. They're coming for an inspection and evaluation. The principal, a Mr. Olbiz, and his staff, well, they have just a few hours before the so-called gods of the education system arrive.
And just like that, it is panic mode. Morning classes? Canceled. The new mission is to completely transform the school to make it look perfect. And they've only got a few hours to do it. The goal isn't real improvement. It's all about creating a flawless first impression.
So the whole place undergoes this, miraculous, but totally superficial transformation. The name of the game is basically hide and seek. Hide all the flaws and seek that sweet, sweet approval.
And what's so fascinating is how they pull off this facade. Look at this. You've got this fancy French soap poster, not for art's sake, no. It's there to cover up a big old rotting hole in the wall. And that beautiful garden? Yeah, that's all borrowed. They literally trucked in potted plants from the neighbors to create this, one-day paradise. It's all about appearances, hiding the gritty reality of the school's decay.
And this sketch just perfectly captures the organized chaos. The staff gets split up into these little teams, each one with a super specific job to build this illusion. You've got one group cooking up a huge feast that the teachers themselves have to pay for, by the way. Another group is literally stripping the neighbors' homes of beds and pillows. It's this whole community-wide effort to build a complete fantasy for just one day.
So in the middle of all this whirlwind of fakeness, we meet our main character, Miss Noel. She's the English teacher. And for her, this whole thing isn't just stressful, it's deeply, deeply wrong.
And this image just lays out the central conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got Miss Noel. She's all about real, genuine education, what she calls fashionable reading. And on the other side, you've got the system, kind of embodied by the principal's wife, who's way more worried about fashionable sack dresses and the art of the palabas, the big show. It's a total clash between substance and surface.
All right, the stage is set. Everything looks perfect. So it's time for the main event, the arrival of the so-called gods. Let's see what happens when this carefully built performance slams right into reality, especially when their little warning system totally fails.
Oh, and the timing is it's pure comedy. The lookout they posted at the town gate? Yeah, the cars just blew right past him. The principal, Mr. Olbis, he spots the convoy while he's still in his undershirt, shaving. It's a mad dash to get dressed and throw together the welcoming committee, all decked out in red, white, and blue.
And the gods themselves? Oh, they don't show up in some golden chariot. Nope, they arrive in a weapons carrier, and it's just overflowing with this jumble of their stuff. We're talking live crabs getting mixed with sweets, squawking chickens, shoes everywhere. It's just so human, so messy. And it completely clashes with this godlike status they're supposed to have.
So, this is where Miss Noel meets the new English supervisor, a guy named Mr. Sawit. He's replacing her old mentor, Mr. Ample, a man she really, really respected for his integrity. And what's the first thing Mr. Sawit does? He calls Mr. Ample a fool who died poor because he refused to play the game. Right away, you know exactly who this guy is, the voice of cynical, get-ahead-at-all-costs pragmatism.
So, after this whole day of putting on a show, the rehearsed classes, the giant dinner, the forced dancing, the story gets to its breaking point. This is when the masks really start to slip.
And then Mr. Sawit says this. He says, "I always believe there's no school problem that a good round of tango will not solve." He says it like a joke, but man, it cuts right to the heart of his entire philosophy. It's the perfect summary of the system he represents, right? Why actually deal with the messy, difficult root of a problem when you can just dance right over it? For him, substance can always be ignored if you just put on a good performance. And this is the moment. They're in the kitchen. It's quiet, away from all the noise of the party. And Miss Noel just decides she's had enough.
She's done with the performance. She confronts Mr. Sonowit with the simple, hard truth.
She just lays it all out for him. This whole thing, it isn't about actually fooling anyone. She calls it exactly what it is, a shared lie, an unspoken agreement. It's this empty ritual where everyone knows they're playing a part. The teachers put on their masks, the supervisors put on theirs, and both sides know it's all just a show.
And his response? This is the absolute key. He doesn't deny it. He doesn't even try to argue. Instead, he offers her a deal, a way out. That's also a way in. He basically tells her, hey, play along, keep quiet, and in return, I'll give you a good rating and I'll get you a promotion to a way better job in Manila.
I mean, this is it, the ultimate test of her character. The system isn't trying to crush her. It's trying to recruit her. It's offering her a spot on the ladder. But the price of that very first step is her silence, her integrity, her soul.
So, faced with this cynical deal and what she feels is the supreme insult of him kissing her on the forehead like a child, Ms. Noel has to really look at her future and decide, who am I going to be?
And for a second, she really thinks about it. She wavers. She pictures all the other things she could do. Go work for her aunt, be a secretary in the city, anything to just escape this corrupt, soul-crushing system. But then she sees one of her students, a boy named Leon. And Leon has this big dream of becoming Pugadlaween's very first lawyer. And in that one moment, seeing his ambition, his potential, everything changes for her.
She gets it. If she leaves, if she takes the easy way out, what happens to them? What happens to students like Leon and Juanita and Porfirio? They might lose their only real guide, their only real shot at a different kind of future. She asks herself, almost angrily, why do I have to be such a darn missionary? But she already knows the answer. This is her mission.
So the next morning, the visit is over. The supervisors are getting ready to leave, and everyone gathers for one last thing, a group photo. It's the perfect, frozen image of the school's hierarchy, right? With the most important gods right there at the top. And Miss Noel, who is running a little late, she rushes to join the picture, but she doesn't try to squeeze in near the top. No, instead, she runs and takes her place with both pride and humility on the very lowest step. See, she hasn't quit. She hasn't been defeated. She has made this incredibly powerful choice to stay, to fight from within. She's found her purpose not by climbing some corrupt ladder, but by standing firm at the very bottom, exactly where her students need her most. And that leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. In a broken system, what does true victory really look like?